Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Lori. If you have been following any of my content lately, then it will be no surprise to you how in love I am with the Louise Carmen notebook covers. I've also been loving my Paper Republic notebook cover. I have a collection of traveler's notebooks. I have seemed to have made this complete shift in my ecosystem to notebook covers. And it feels like it happened overnight when I purchased my first Louise Carmen Honoré in Paris for my anniversary a few weeks ago. This is the little guy. This is the Ernest. This is more of a pocket size. I use this as a wallet. This has become my everyday carry. It holds 4 notebooks very comfortably. I've actually added 5 notebooks by using a traveler's notebook jump band. I was so inspired by these pieces that I started to research some DIYs on TikTok. For those of you who might not follow me over on TikTok, I'm Lori Ann Tata on TikTok. I've been documenting my experience with Louise Carmen from the beginning. I think I started the day before I actually went to Louise Carmen with just my plan of action. And I've been recording a lot of stuff over there because the videos have been a little bit too short for a full video here on YouTube and a little too long to be like an Instagram reel. So I've really had a lot of fun over there. And it's been so inspiring to see what other people have done in the world of DIY. So literally after I picked up my notebooks at Louise Carmen, my husband and I made our way over to a leather shop in Paris to buy some veggie tan leather because I knew I had to come home and try to make these on my own. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you my experience at that leather shop, and I am going to show you how I went from here to here, and I did it all on my own with tools at home. I can't tell you how gratifying it has been for me to create something again. These past years, I've been so much of a consumer, and I used to be a big time crafter. I did creative memories for over a decade. I used to create beautiful scrapbooks. I used to draw a lot more when I was younger. I have a mom who used to create beautiful wreaths, and she's a cake decorator. I grew up in a very creative home, and I feel like somewhere along the way, I lost that, and I just became somebody who buys stuff all the time. So making these notebooks with my own 2 hands has been so gratifying, and it has saved me quite literally hundreds of dollars compared to the price of the Louise Carmen notebooks. Now, this is not to say that I regret my purchases. I absolutely love my Louise Carmen notebooks. There's something very special about the whole experience, choosing all the little charms in store. I think their leather is just so dreamy. It like hugs the notebooks inside. I love this so much. Absolutely no regrets. In fact, 2 days ago, I ordered a Magnum through a video conference order, and that one hurt a little bit. It was just so expensive when it came down to what the shipping was going to cost. When I did the conversion from euros to US dollars, I ordered a charm that was exclusive to Louise Carmen. That was over $70 for the charm. When I got the invoice for that call, I knew that that was likely going to be probably my last Louise Carmen. I feel very blessed to have the 2 that I already have, and now that one. While I love this company and I love the personalization, the customer service, and the quality of their stuff, when you see what you can make and for how little you can make it for, I think you're going to really be on board with trying a DIY. The shop owner's name is Francois. I had reached out to him via email and asked him if he had some veggie tan hides that I could go look at. I ended up coming home with a full hide and then some scraps. The name of this leather shop is called Maison Fichet. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I will put the name here on the screen for you. I would highly recommend this shop if you are ever in Paris. I know there are places in the United States. I will link a few leather shops here in the States below. You can also buy leather online, like sheets of leather. If you want to skip ahead, I will put a timestamp right here. I'll also do chapters in the description for you. But if you'd like to walk through this beautiful leather shop in Paris, stick around, hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos about Louise Carmen notebooks, traveler's notebooks, journaling, fountain pens, handbags, and planning. It's all here. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you enjoy this video. Let's go to Paris for a bit. And then this red one is gorgeous, but this one's too thick.
Yes, too thick for
that one's too thick. Yeah.
And when do you leave?
Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.
No, I will have same in
Thinner,
but only on Monday.
Not until Monday. Okay. Absolutely beautiful.
You have to put it on the top.
Thank you. Okay, so that I'll have to, I know that there are some tutorials on how to do it and make sure you have all the right products, but that seals it basically. Okay. There's more scraps up here.
May I cut it by the middle?
I think so, yes. Because this is not, I mean,
Anyway,
if I
you
make,
can't fold it.
right, you have to roll it.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, if I have to make 8 instead of 10, I'm okay with that. I'll probably give some as gifts.
Yeah.
And it's more for experimentation and to share with my audience and to just know that there are alternatives to
This.
so expensive. I love that. I'm going to go with the natural, even though I want so many. These are beautiful too, right?
Yeah.
And I wonder if I should get any of the leather conditioner or anything like that. So pretty.
Ah ouais?
Middle?
I think that's the best thing.
Après, en vrai, tu en prends toi du café, là?
Moi, oui.
Ouais, parce que j'allais dire, c'est un cadeau. C'est un cadeau pour François. En deux ans,
Désolé.
en 2 ans, je suis jamais.
We need to have a good photo like this.
Oh, okay.
We do it more properly.
Okay. I'm going to go over here. GTM, but that I could still...
That's mixed. That's chrome tanning,
Okay.
and it's retaining vegetal. That's a mixed tanning. It's chrome and vegetal tanning together.
I could have some fun with that.
That's calf skin.
What is the
Calf.
cows?
Calf.
Oh, calf. And this?
Cow.
Okay. Oh, so the little baby. That makes me sad. It does.
But we don't kill it for the skin, huh?
Oh, true.
10 euros.
Oh, I'm definitely going to grab that. Okay. This is too small. It's close, but... I feel like I'm at the bins. Okay, okay. Let's do the cutting. Yeah, so we have to roll this up and somehow get it home. But he estimates we'll get like 8 to 10 of the medium size out of this. And I'm finding a couple scraps I like. Okay, so as you saw, that was just such a lovely experience, and Francois was so patient with me, and he really took time to even explain to me the parts of the hide that were used for certain pieces of leather. The leathers that he had that were already dyed were absolutely scrumptious, especially that green one. I loved that so much. There was that whole wall of different leathers, but you had to buy things as an entire hide unless you got some scraps. So that's why I decided to go with a full hide of the natural veggie tan leather. This is actually half of it because I've been using the other half to create notebook covers. So I believe this entire hide was 69 euro, if I'm not mistaken. He also had some scraps, and I am all about digging to find a little diamond in the rough. I really loved the color of this leather. It turned out to be a little too soft and supple for the type of notebook cover that I was going for. I did go ahead and make my first DIY. I knew that this leather was not ideal for what I wanted to do, so I thought it would be really good practice for me. And when I did this, I was using elastics that I had on hand from my Travelers Company collection. So my elastics don't even match. I used this beautiful pendant from a necklace that I didn't wear anymore. It was so exciting to me to just be so creative and resourceful with the charms I was using, with the elastics that I was using. I ended up investing in quite a few things. So the bottom line of the cost of my notebooks is not simply just the cost of the leather, but once you invest in some of the tools, you'll see that you'll be able to make one of these leather notebooks for $30 or less. I think the leather for the Louise Carmen Honore, just the cover itself, not including any charms or the portfolio, is about 160 US dollars. This is the black leather that was already dyed, that was a scrap. And I think I got this for $10. I think the price was 15 euro and he gave it to me for 10 euro. He was really sweet. And I was able to make a really chunky A5 size dupe. It's actually a dupe of the road book. The Honore notebook covers have a pocket on the inside. There is some stitching on the back here. So he was great in advising me on the thickness of the leather to get, but you can see that this black veggie tan leather is a lot more sturdy than this. You may be somebody who prefers this more rustic, lived-in sort of leather. It's really pretty. In order to get your notebooks to be in there securely, you have to make the elastics a little tight. But when I would do that, this leather here would collapse a little bit on the side. But honestly, this was a great experiment for me to practice. It still is very functional. It's just a little floppier than my preference. You can see how the leather kind of comes over like this. Let me know in the comments if this is the type of leather that you would actually prefer. Once it was all chunked out and I put all my notebooks in here, I did a 3-strand here, which is the road book style. They do 3 eyelets across the top, 3 eyelets across the bottom for the road book, making way for 6 notebooks inside. Whereas the Honore, I'll show you on the bottom part, there's 2 side by side. Also, they use 1.5 millimeter grommets, as far as I know. They're very tight and small, and the grommets that I used were slightly larger. I think the 2 millimeter ones are much easier to work with. I had this idea to make like a nautical notebook because I thought it would look so pretty next to my Ernest. I just love the way these go together. I'll show you the grommets on the side of this. If you're following me on TikTok, you know that I really struggled when I did the top coat for this, like the sealer. I put way too much on. I touched it before I was supposed to. It got really sticky. Then I wiped it and it was loaded with lint. It was an absolute mess. I went through an entire bottle of deglazer to wipe off all of the glazing and the stickiness that was on this. But what I was left with was this gorgeous navy blue piece of leather. I recently went to TJ Maxx and I'm really excited about this necklace. This was on clearance for $13. Just for reference, this little L charm here on the side, 19 euros. And then the Eiffel Tower and the heart. This one on the front, I think was 39 or 25. I mean, it's beautiful. But if you go on to Amazon, you can find these. I've researched these so much since I've been back. And again, no regrets. I just think it's really gratifying to make it with your own 2 hands. I mean, I'm gonna come in close for you. Look at the charms on this necklace. And they all go with one another. So I can put 1 charm on the front, and then I can do 3 to 5 charms on the side, and they're all so pretty. Look at this one just in isolation, how pretty this is. Is it like mother of pearl or like a silvery? Just so pretty. I really love this leaf. So besides the leather, you're going to need some sort of a surface to cut your leather. I had these mats for cutting paper. So you want to put this under your rotary cutter or your X-Acto knife, or you will destroy whatever countertop you're using. So didn't buy, I had this. These are the dies that I bought. So this is jet black, which I have not used yet. I'm a little worried because I'm sitting here in my basement, which we just had recarpeted. I don't want any dye to go anywhere. I'm trying to see how much I used of the navy blue, but this is the navy blue. And these are about $10 a piece on Amazon, $10 or $11. Now, your leather dye boxes, if you buy these individually, they'll come with one of these little wool daubers. But I went ahead and bought like a bag of 50 of these. I could keep using fresh ones so that my dye job wouldn't get too streaky. Somebody commented on one of my TikTok videos that a car wash sponge was the best thing to use to apply leather dye. So I might order a sponge because I think because it's larger, you'll be able to cover more at once. But I mean, I really love how this came out. This worked well for me. Oh, the other thing, I'm very jumpy. I actually dyed both sides too. I didn't do as many coats here. I was a little worried that the dye would transfer off of this side, but I ended up dyeing this side as well. I just didn't do as many coats as here because remember, this started out as this. It's drying nicely, but I did drop a little bit of water here. I hope it dries. It's been about 10-15 minutes. ChatGPT said I should wait 30 minutes. What do you think, Lumpy? And here is the dye I'm using, Angelus Navy Blue, and I'm going to put it in this little container. Okay, so it says to apply 2 coats. It's pretty streaky. I went back over a couple spots over there, but I didn't want to overdo because I still need to do the underside. Instructions just say, apply 2 coats of dye evenly, allow adequate dry time until dry to touch. When dry, polish with the perfect stain wax. The suede side is going to be much more absorbent. The suede side of the leather, like the underside, just absorbs so much. So I can notice right away with this that the dye is kind of staying on top of the leather. It's not absorbing as much since that first layer is down. You can really see the shine underneath. I probably put a little too much, but you figure this was 1 dip and I can probably do half of this piece. Oh, this is, what a difference. I'm trying to spread it around quite a bit. Let me see how high up I can go with just this 1 dip. That's really interesting how far this is going this time around. Okay, I'm gonna go up here so you can see. Almost looks black. I don't want it to be streaky. So I think I'm going to dip a little bit more because this is like the problem area. Am I getting in there? I'm going through a lot of this dye, more than I thought. Okay, let's get this section really good. Make sure that the article is dry. For smooth leathers only, do not apply excessively or rub for long periods of time. During wet or humid weather, drying times can be increased. Okay, I'm going to try to go really fast. I don't want to rub too much in. I'm not really sure what I was supposed to have, but I'm pretty sure we're going to want to buff it after this. If you're a leather person watching me, this might be way too much. I don't know. Rub this in. Ooh, this feels kind of tacky. This does not feel so great. Maybe it's supposed to feel tacky. Maybe I'm applying way too much. I don't know. I'm a little concerned that this cloth isn't the best either because it's not very soft. Hi everyone. I'm so sad with this update. I got my acrylic finisher in the mail and I was so excited to do my navy blue cover. And it's an absolute mess. I have to start over. I put too much on and it's like super tacky. Particles of dust were getting in it. Like if you could You can hear the tackiness, you can see the dust. It's awful. I ordered a package of these microfiber sponges, and this is what I use to deglaze the navy blue. I think I went through like 6 of these. I was just like sopping off that sealer that was just a nightmare. I'm hoping I won't need to use them to the extent that I did for that project. This I highly recommend. This is Olfa, O-L-F-A, made in Japan. This is so sharp. You slide this down and then your blade is exposed and you can like run along the edge. Also, when I would cut, I would put down this metal ruler. This is from Archer and Olive. I would use this as my guide. So I would put this down on the leather and then I would use that metal guide. I also have a ruler that has like a little metal edge as well, so that can be helpful. I had a pencil to draw things out. I also created a template. The first one I did on my own just by measuring my Louise Carmen. I literally traced my Louise Carmen, and then I added a couple inches to the side of this to make it so that if I was a little chunkier with my notebooks, I would have room. The other thing is the Louise Carmen Honoré and the Road Book and the organizer fit an A5 slim, which I really, really love this size, but I have so many A5 notebooks that when I did the black cover in the Road Book style, I made it longer so that it could accommodate A5 notebooks. I also ordered different elastic colors from Amazon. My black notebook started out with the bee charm on it. There was some gold and turquoise in that little bee brooch. And then I ended up using turquoise elastic, and the contrast with the black was so beautiful. But the bee kept falling off because it was a pin and it kept opening up because it was so heavy. Much like my sand dollar, this is a little too heavy for the front of this. So I don't know if this is long for this world. And also when I ordered this red, this is super, super stretchy. And the first round of elastics that I ordered, they weren't so stretchy. They held their shape a little bit better. So you're just gonna have to experiment and see which style you like. This red elastic, I almost think that I wanna double up on it and then pull it really tight. I ended up doubling up on this elastic and it has made such a big difference. I also added a second hole for the elastic to go through. I have not put grommets on this yet, and I actually don't know if I'm going to. I kind of like the subtlety of it. These are the charms that I have added. Aren't they just so cute? I love it. And then in the front, I put that beautiful gold leaf, which I actually installed upside down. I think the texture is supposed to be on that side, but still looks pretty. When I remove the elastic, I tend to go this way instead of over the top. That way it doesn't get caught on all the side charms, but it's been really wonderful. I did make this a little extra longer than I really needed to, but that will allow for me to add chunkier things in here. And this is the watercolor sketchbook that I ordered on Amazon. It's the perfect size, testing it out in this book, but I'll transfer this into the Magnum from Louise Carmen when that arrives. And yeah, I just love this notebook. You're gonna need something to set your eyelets. So when I first started, I got this super inexpensive kit. It looks like this. I think I had a defective one on this because if you look closely on the inside of the base here, there's a little bit of a nick on the inside so that when I would bang my eyelet, it would not bang flat. When I did my black notebook, it ended up being a mess. So the grommet tool that I got is called Crop-A-Dial. This is the packaging for it. I actually tested out some of the grommets on here. And then the second wave of grommets that I ordered ones that had washers in the back for a little more reinforcement. I don't think that was necessary. I just think that that first tool that I showed you was defective and I had such a bad experience that I bought this, which was an A+. This tool is unbelievable how easy it is to squeeze and make those grommets. The only problem with this tool is you can't get past like an inch on the leather. So you still need that old-fashioned tool to bang these in the back of your notebook. I opted to put that on the side here, which is how Paper Republic does it. They put that center elastic on the spine where Louise Carmen puts them on the back of their notebooks. But then what happens is if you're writing on a hard surface, your charm keeps banging on the table. So there are pros and cons to the different style notebook covers that you can get, which is the beauty of making it on your own, because you can tailor it to exactly what you want. So this is my little template that I made for my first one. I measured everything out. I created this just by opening up my Louise Carmen and laying it flat on top. If you look at where the Louise Carmen ends, I made my template a little bit longer so that I could accommodate for A5 notebooks. I also bought these little corner cutters. They're not perfect, but they work. They almost look like a little side spoon, and you line it up here and you bang it and then you cut the sides. It's not going to be perfect, but that's kind of the beauty of this. These are handmade notebooks. They're not going to look like they were made from a machine because they weren't. But when you do that tri-fold, it looks really nice. Just today, I cut 3 more out of the leather that I had because I was trying to finish up my first half. So if you add all that up, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, plus the navy blue one that I made, 5. And then I still have these scraps. I'm also gonna try to make an earnest. I wanna do a dupe for each size. So I'm just having so much fun with all this leather. It's unbelievable how many notebook covers I will get out of that one piece of veggie tan leather. So if you're not intimidated to dye it yourself, you'll be able to get a lot more variety by buying the natural leather. But I will say it was really nice to just be able to cut right from the leather that was already made. So you know yourself best. You know if you just want to order like a sheet of the leather off of Amazon, you'll pay a little bit more money for it, but it will come to you all dyed. You don't have to worry about the deglazing or the dyeing or the little wool daubers to get your dye on there. There's a shop here in Massachusetts that's also a leather shop that I would really like to visit, because I just want to give recommendations for people who are local and perhaps not in Paris to go to this shop. There are great resources here in the United States as well. There was just something really special about going to Paris to get my leather. And he did say that they source their leather from Normandy. So they get their hides from Normandy in France, but then they're actually treated and tanned in Spain, which I thought was really interesting. Francois, if you're watching and I misspoke, please correct me in the comments. I'm pretty certain that's what he said. These are the little tools that I have that you can use to do the corners, and you just get whichever size that you want, and then you can line it up on the corner of the leather, and then you're gonna bang, bang, bang on that, and it's gonna cut right through the leather to do the corner. This is the culprit, this acrylic finisher. See, I didn't even use that much, but this is the stuff that was so sticky. I need to really evaluate if I would use this again, but you do have to seal the leather once you dye it because you don't want the dye to transfer. I was convinced too when I started to deglaze and wipe all that off that I was going to lose the look of my leather, but it's dyed. I mean, it's in there, it's absorbed, it's a permanent dye. So when I deglazed it, it still left like beautiful, beautiful results. I just am in love with this navy blue. I'm really interested to see how my Magnum compares to my DIY, because it's so significantly less expensive to do it yourself. I was a little shell-shocked that I paid what I paid for that. But since I'm in the business of reviewing stationery products, I really wanted to have the brand with every different size that I could speak to here on my channel and on TikTok and on Instagram. The color that I got from Louise Carmen is London green, and I did brown accents. I'm really excited about it. I've been loving green this year, and I love how green works with beiges and neutrals and creams and browns. And so I was really inspired. I actually saw someone's London green on TikTok and I screenshotted it, and I'm like, that's what I want to get. I'm really excited to see how it all looks, and I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. One of the other tools that I bought that's not in front of me here was just a little jewelry set. I think it was between $10 and $14, and it had little pliers and tweezers, and that is how I am managing to get all of the charms off of necklaces and earrings and bracelets that I'm finding at thrift stores. I was just so excited at how all of these work together. I mean, look at this heart. I think this is so pretty. It's got kind of this like milky, taupey center. I think this would look so pretty on the green one that I just got. And this would look beautiful on the London green. And my charms from Louise Carmen this time were well over $100. I'm really happy that there are alternatives, so there's something for everyone. Nobody feels left out. This is a very accessible thing. And there are a lot of companies that have been doing these types of notebooks for years. The light bulb that went off for me when I was introduced to Louise Carmen was the fact that it was wider. And I know I've seen Chic Sparrow. I still have to say that I love the Louise Carmen feel better than the Chic Sparrow. The Chic Sparrow feels a little more rustic to me, and then the Louise Carmen really feels like luxury. It's like a luxury handbag. I am a sucker for that too. But I've shifted all of my luxe thinking and put it into my notebooks because I journal every day and I think of reasons to pick up these beautiful notebooks, whether they're DIY or whether they're the Louise Carmen or the Paper Republic. And I still do love my Traveler's Notebook. They're just very narrow. That was the big aha moment, was when I saw these notebooks and it was a wider footprint. That made all the difference. And I didn't know that that's what I was looking for, but when I saw it, but it was still a modular travel system, it was like all the pieces to the puzzle fit together for me, because I've learned in my journey as a journaler and planner that I really like open-ended things. I have wasted so many dated planners that I had the best intentions of using. Comment below if you can relate to that, the amount of Hobonichi notebooks and planners that I have not used to the end of the year, and they're just sitting on my shelf because I don't want to throw them out, but they're from 2023 and 2024 and now 2025. That's a video for another day. But this system just really, really works for me. It's just the way my brain works. I like having multiple notebooks contained in one notebook cover. It's just the best for me. I know this was a really long video because I gave you some footage from Paris. I showed you all the supplies that I used, as well as showing you some of my footage from putting these together. But I hope I gave you a good picture of how you can DIY a Louise Carmen inspired notebook for yourself. And honestly, I don't think Louise Carmen was the first to do this. I think these trifold leather notebooks have been around for ages. There's a company in the Philippines who I discovered on Instagram. If I can find their name, I'll put it here on the screen. They have real affordable pricing. The Paper Republic's notebooks are beautiful, but you're just gonna get the folded notebook. They're not rounded edges. It's not a trifold. You can do that in their atelier section. The cost adds up quite quickly. In some cases, you'll spend more on a custom Paper Republic to have all the customizations in the pockets and the trifold. That adds up really quickly. But out of the box, if you're just going to order like a basic notebook, you can really get some great deals at Paper Republic. And I think their elastic cord is stronger than Louise Carmen's, and I think their leather is sturdier than Louise Carmen, but I wouldn't say better than Louise Carmen, because I happen to be a huge fan of whatever leather they're using. The thickness of it is perfect. The feel of it is perfect. I feel like it molds to whatever is underneath, and it's just gorgeous. I can't say enough about how much I love these. This leather is definitely thicker than the Louise Carmen. You might like that. You might want it thinner than Louise Carmen. You might like that squishy leather that I showed you in the beginning. But the cool thing is, if you go to some of these leather shops and you look through some of their scraps, you might be able to find the leather. And I really liked having my Louise Carmen notebook with me while I was at the leather shop in Paris, so I could look at the leathers side by side, compare the thickness. That was meaningful to me, to have like the original with me and then search for what I wanted to do for my DIY. So I hope you found this video helpful, or at least entertaining a little bit. It was wonderful to shop with Francois at his beautiful leather boutique in Paris. Let me know in the comments if you have attempted to DIY your own Louise Carmen inspired notebook. How did it go? Are you using it every day? Do you have the Louise Carmen, and do you prefer your DIY? Are you a Paper Republic person? Are you still true to Traveler's Notebook, or maybe you're a Chic Sparrow girl? Let me know in the comments. I am here for it. I cannot get enough content about these notebook covers. I've just been having so much fun. It's been such a creative outlet for me. I've absolutely loved making these notebooks for myself and now for gifts. I think that's why they're wildly successful. I think the reason people are paying up so much money for Louise Carmen is because you are creating your own personal notebook. The fact that I was in Paris for my 30th anniversary and I came home with this little Eiffel Tower charm in the heart for my anniversary, and my initial, I mean, it's so meaningful. And then I had my anniversary stamped on here and my initials down below. There are machines that you can get to do stamping. That's like the next level, which I have considered. It's just so nice that it's so personal, but when you make it yourself, you can also personalize it too. All right, I'm done. This video is gonna be 13 hours long because I could talk about these for that long, but thank you guys so much for watching. I will leave links below for everything that I shared with you today. I actually have an Amazon list just for my Louise Carmen inspired notebooks and everything that I picked up to create my DIYs. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more from me and hit the thumbs up if you had fun. I will see you soon in another video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.